Yeah, great dialogue, by the way, everybody. I appreciate you so much. Um, so thankful for the space that we have where like-minded people can come together in a very diverse, safe space, free of bullying and free of all kinds of bull crap. So it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me when you treat each other with respect and, you know, we try our best to see when we're being unkind or unskillful. All of us do. Um, and that way, every day I feel like we're more effective communicators and we're more effective sangha. And this type of thing to me, just like RH was saying about the timeless nature, I really feel like that's underrated. The fact that things are timeless, um, that really gives us a lot. You see, it gives us a lot of power, but since we're kind of subscribed to reference points, we don't necessarily harness that power. So here, definitely, we start to venture into the timeless aspect, and that right there is pretty awesome. All right, so yeah, back to Naguma, this 10th, 11th century yogini, female practitioner, counterpart to Naropa and many well-known yogis. I believe she's well known in the Kagyu tradition, and now we're hopefully giving her a little bit more light by this book Exploration by the book is by Sarah Harding, and it's published around 2010, I think. And this is a collection of 17 texts that she pulled out of the Tibetan Buddhist canon, and she translated those. Am I getting the date? Oh, is it? I cannot see. That was very tiny. Very, very tiny. I cannot see. Oh, I got it right. Okay, very good. So, so we could say that's relatively recent, right? Um, what's impressive to me is that she managed to get a hold of all the Naguma texts that she could out of the Tibetan Buddhist canon. And so, if you want to keep up with the technicalities, you can look at the videos that Yeshi published, where we went into the five paths, we went into the 10 bhumis, and the 37 factors of awakening, which run along these source verses. So, for example, here she's going to define what a path is, and then we're going to start with the first of the five paths. Now, here's some interesting stuff. A lot of what's in this text sounds like the Kunya Galpo, 17 tantras that came out of the Kunya Galpo. So, also known as the Kulaya Raja Tantra. So, or the Supreme Source, the Kunyagalmo, the Sovereign Mother, has many translations of the name of that collection of texts. But really, it was so early, it's attributed to Verachana as the translator and Sri Singha as the author. But Sri Singha most likely was the bringer of the text rather than the creator of the text. And in Western academia, they love to just say, "Oh, he created it. His name's on. He created it." You know, to me, I'm not so quick to just say, "Oh yeah, they invented all this stuff. It's so perfectly woven together with the Dharma, and just they just came up with it." I'm sure that it's possible, but there's too much of a breadcrumb trail ahead of it for it to be an invention of Sri Singha, in my opinion. So they're very earlier Indian masters around the turn of the century, all the way up until 7th century, around Kunya Galpo hit Tibet, and now in the ninth, 10th, 11th centuries, with the new migration of um, teachings coming from India to Tibet, we have Naguma here. And we could probably associate with the Sarma transmission of the Dharma in Tibet. So it says the paths, since calm abiding and higher insight are combined together, and since it is supreme, and one desires to arrive, it is called path. The path of accumulation is to renounce vice, however small, and take up virtue, gathering accumulations in order to realize the illusion of the nature of phenomena. Now, remember, I explained this last time as Nundro and all these preliminary practices of accumulation, uh, accumulating wisdom and merit. These are all provisional. They involve doing, they involve effort. But what they're doing, they're actually also kind of cleaning your mirror, cleaning the dirt off of your mirror. How does that work psychologically? Well, when you're engaged in non-virtue, typically it infects your mind. You'll feel very shameful if you lie. You'll feel very shameful if you kill. You'll be filled with regret. It'll be nearly impossible for you to recognize the nature of mind or to do any kind of meditation. Somebody who just did a serious crime, they could not sit here for 10 minutes. I could tell you that. And so I mean, there are some psychological dispositions that are different. Now, there are exceptions to that rule, but I'm saying generally, general psychology, when you lie, cheat, steal, harm people, bully people, your mind doesn't feel good. You're just not happy. You're definitely not going to be able to come into your enlightenment. So, by practicing virtue and doing accumulations, what you're doing is you're kind of cleaning that mirror. And then what's there, if you follow the whole curriculum, is the reflexivity. So we call it awareness. So just become aware of awareness. That's the part of your mind that's being covered by the dirt of the mirror. And then once you recognize the reflexive quality of your mind, the fact that it can reflect back to you, and its self-knowing quality, well, then you start to see all phenomenon as mirror-like wisdom. And this is all appearances, empty appearances, maybe like M was talking about earlier, just kind of empty appearances, right? And in that case, they're a co-emergent part of your mind, and you're abiding in the reflexive quality itself. You're no longer abiding in the appearances. And I know that's very technical, but some people are at that level where they want that information. So, and sometimes the nature of mind is translated to reflexivity. And responsiveness is also a popular translation of the nature of mind, or excuse me, the energy of mind. So they'll call the nature of mind cognizance, and then they'll say whatever appears is the response of that cognizance, the reflexivity of that cognizance. So reflexivity actually to me is the border between cognizance and the energy of your mind, or it's the bridge. Excuse me. Because how could you have all appearances, anything appear in your mind if there wasn't reflexivity? But reflexivity isn't the energy itself. Okay, so I know that's a little technical, but uh, yeah, it's okay. So there are greater, intermediate, and lesser levels, each formulated with further fourfold division for mindfulnesses, for renunciations, and for supports of miraculous action. And remember, she has a chart in this book too that lists the 37 factors of enlightenment. And right there, these 12 that are mentioned are in the beginning of the 37 factors of enlightenment. And you all will hear these 37 factors all the time in this group. I mention them all the time. So, carelessness and impaired mindfulness cause downfalls. Therefore, mindfulness is explained first. To practice mindfulness and awareness of the illusion of inseparable appearance emptiness of this heartless body as the victor's body is the direct application of mindfulness to the body. So feel like it's saying contemplating the emptiness of the body there. The reference points of pleasure, pain, equanimity, and the sensations of all designated phenomenon understood as sensation are the direct application of mindfulness to sensation. Yeah, so they will go in stages and have various points of mindfulness, but in the awareness practice, everything starts to come into your mindfulness. And are awareness and mindfulness the same? Yes, you can consider them. The only thing is, in the beginning, you're pretending basically that you can be mindful of the breath when really the breath is within mindfulness. You see? So you're just honing your mind for a second and saying, "Oh yes, I'm being mindful of my breath." You're really not though. You're resting in open awareness and you're letting your breath be in that open awareness and you're letting your mind be free of the habits of distraction. So a whole different orientation here, okay? For example, if you want to do breath meditation according to Sutrayana, Mahayana, then you would say, "All right, everybody, let's be mindful of our breath for 10 minutes." And we would sit here and pay attention to our breath. Now, if you were in Dzogchen and we say, "Okay, let's bring the breath into our awareness and leave it in our awareness for 10 minutes." See the difference? So I would just rest in space like awareness. The breath is already in my awareness, and that's it. There's no trying, there's no doing, right? So that's the difference between the two approaches. At the tippy top, Dzogchen and Mahayana is a little bit before that, you know. So Mahayana is the third yana of the nine yanas. Dzogchen is the ninth yana. So all phenomena are mind, yet mind will not be found inside or outside. Mind, not existing at all, except as illusion, is the application of mindfulness to the mind. Okay. Shravakas and Pradyeka Buddhas label all things as phenomenon. To know them as random labels of mere names is the application of mindfulness to phenomena. All right, so there you have the four foundations of mindfulness, as she mentioned, which is our thoughts, our emotional feelings, our body, and all phenomena, all dharmas. Suffering is caused by non virtues, since those who desire freedom from it regard all non virtue as though it were poison. There are four genuine renunciations. Okay, so we could stop there at the four genuine renunciations. And the five paths links that I shared and the 37 factors of enlightenment could be like your cheat sheet, okay? If you really want to break it down. But to keep it super simple for you all, as as you familiarize with your awareness, with this pure presence, and the more you get used to letting it be, all these 37 factors will reveal themselves for you naturally. You don't even have to really analyze that too much. Okay, well, thank you so much. I can't believe so many people interested in the Dharma and participating. That's really great. So thank you.